Importance of biomechanics in sports. Improvement, first point, improvement of sports technique. Sports biomechanics constantly try to upgrade and refine sporting trends or techniques for all types of sports. It helps, okay, sports biomechanics try to upgrade and redefine sports techniques for all types of sports. First point, correction of the athlete's performance for better delivery through qualitative biomechanical analysis. After that come discovery of new and more effective methods through quantitative biomechanical analysis. Now, for example, earlier people used to do pole vault by that bamboo stick. Generally, they used to do the pole vault by that bamboo stick. But because of discovery of new instrument and all that, what came? Fiber. What came? Fiber. So this is a discovery regarding biomechanics. Similarly, when you are jumping, what to say, hurdles. When we are jumping hurdles, we are using wooden one, but in foreign they are using fiber one, so that it doesn't give injury to any individual. If it is foreign also, it will not give injury to any individual. Like how many we should have spikes in their shoes or not, which type of shoes we should wear. Generally, if you are seeing that cycling people, they are wearing a particular type of helmet. It is aerodynamic in shape. Why aerodynamic in shape? So that it cuts the air. They know air resistance, and you are able to cover the distance in shortest time. If you're moving or running, and if you're moving on a cycle and air is stopping you, so what happened that because of the helmet, the air is coming and cutting across the helmet. So your time is not wasted over that. Your time is not wasted over that. So that is all that because of aerodynamics and because of biomechanics, this has came into the existence. After that come improvement of equipment and facilities. Improvement of equipment and facilities. Biomechanics also prove useful in development of better equipment and facilities with its valuable design inputs. With its valuable design inputs. For example, running shoes tailored for races help the athlete reduce injuries and use their energy optimally. Just like Nike and Adidas brands, what they do, they just see, okay, which type of shoes should fit, and it should not give injury to the individual also, and the distance should be covered in minimum of time. Similarly, technically, if we are going bats, balls, which type of Kukubora ball, but this type of bat will use less force and it can hit the six easily. So these are all the inventions of biomechanics. Minimization of injury. Generally, if you are saying, okay, if you are seeing that those who are jumping from top, what they do? But after jumping only, try to roll. To they try to roll. What happens? To minimize the chances of injury. So with the application of biomechanics, it is easier to find scientific rehabilitation of injury and how they can be prevented in future. It therefore focuses on the safety and well-being of the athletes. Regarding sports and all that, those who are which are big clubs and all that, what they do, they are having good physiotherapist, good biomechanics trainer. If any injury happens to an individual, let's suppose if any injury happens to Messi today or Ronaldo, do you think they will wait for 2 months? Okay, let him recover. No, they know how to recover fast. So they will go with the help of biomechanics. Before the match only, they will tell, okay, this time you have to be safe. You can be safe by falling like this way or by wearing like this way. So it helps to minimize the chances of injury. Now, development of new methods. New methods. Like there are various methods in which data is given for no need. Improvement of training. Next point comes improvement of training. An important function of the application of biomechanics in sports is the identification of the training athletes, specific athletes. How you came to know that? Suppose there are 10 students are there, but with the help of biomechanics, you can understand, okay, this player will be suited for basketball, this player will be suited for athletics, this player will be suited for football. So with the help of biomechanics, by the way he runs and all that, you will come to know, okay, we should take this person for this particular game, and understanding the human body. and understanding the human body. So these were a few importances of biomechanics in sports. So what are they? Improvement of sports technique, improvement of equipment and facilities, minimization of injury, development of new methods, understanding the human body, and improvement of training. Now, types of movement. Types of movement. Generally, our body is in. We will say there are three planes passing through the human body. There are three planes passing through the human body. One is sagittal, one is frontal, and other one is horizontal. Sagittal, frontal, and horizontal. Suppose from the top to the bottom, if the plane is passing left and right, two goes, it is known as sagittal. It is known as sagittal. From in between the center of gravity, when our body divided into two parts, upper part and lower part, that is known as horizontal. And we are dividing the body into two parts, that upper front part and back part, that is known as horizontal. So three types of planes are passing through our body: horizontal, sagittal, and frontal. Remember, it is not in the course, but because of when you will be reading about the movements of the body, these planes will work during that time. So there are three types of movement of the body. First one is flexion, extension, abduction, and adduction. Flexion, FLEXION, extension, EXTENSION, abduction, ABDUCTION, and adduction, ADDUCTION. What is flexion? It decreases for example, it decreases the angle between the two parts of the body. This is known as flexion. Flexion is the movement that decreases the angle between two body parts. If now we are opening our hand, it becomes extension. It was flexion, it becomes extension. Suppose when we are standing, we are what to say, flexing our leg inside. That is flexion. When we are extending our leg, it becomes extension. Flexion and extension. For example, when the elbow flexes, the angle between the ulna and the humerus decreases. That is flexion. Extension means it increases the angle between the two body parts. It increases the angle between the two body parts. That is known as extension. Similarly, abduction. Now, this is abduction away from the body, but it is according to the plane wise. According to plane wise, front, like what you said, horizontal plane. If we are seeing increasing the angle, abduction is the movement in the frontal plane. Abduction is the movement in the frontal plane, and that takes the body part away from the midline or towards the imaginary center line. Keep this in mind. Abduction is a movement in the frontal plane that takes the body part away from the midline and towards the imaginary center or towards an imaginary center line. Now, adduction, ADDUCTION. Adduction is a movement in the frontal plane that returns the body part to the midline or takes it away from the imaginary center line. It is abduction and adduction is in frontal plane. Abduction and adduction is in frontal plane. Okay, they are in the frontal plane, not in transverse and not in horizontal. They are in frontal plane. So adduction, it is, you can say, okay, taking the hands away from the body, that is abduction, ABDUCTI, and bringing towards the body, that is adduction. So there are three types of body. There are four types of movement in our body. That is flexion, extension, and adduction. Flexion and adduction, they occur in the sagittal plane. Flexion and adduction occurs in the sagittal plane. Okay, remember, flexion and adduction occurs in the sagittal, whereas abduction and adduction occurs in the frontal. So this is the difference between both flexion and adduction in sagittal, and abduction and adduction in what to say, frontal plane. Now, Newton's laws of motion. You have heard about Newton's laws of motion? A body at rest will continue to be in rest, right? Force is directly proportional to mass into acceleration. Every action is equal to opposite reaction. But here, along with the, if it is come, when the question comes, it can be regarding the sports and physical education. So give an example of the Newton laws of motion regarding with physical education. So the question can come like this way. Manage Newton laws of motion and its application in sports. So you have to, tomorrow I will tell you, in our next class I will tell you what are Newton laws of motion. So by that time, this topic will be over. And a little bit about friction, whether it comes or not, that is separate thing, but we will do little bit of friction also. You also know what is friction? You know what is friction? No? Yeah. If there is no necessary, if there is no friction, then we cannot do any work. We cannot work also, right? Yeah, simple. These things you are from childhood. You are seeing of friction. Yeah, now you are seeing. So friction generally, usually it is not in the course. It will not come. But for the knowledge wise, we will just study. So flexion extension was regarding sagittal plane, and abduction and adduction was in frontal plane. This is the basic difference between the movements of the body parts. Okay, dear students, thank you. We'll meet again tomorrow or in our next class. Thank you, dear students.